Um, so let's also ask a few questions about you. I understand that I think it was in 1916 they started licensing chiropractors in Nebraska. So the issue of practicing without a license went away, at least in Nebraska. But what they came up with was to keep chiropractors' numbers down was something called the Basic Science Board. Could you tell your experience with that and how you really dedicated your life to passing that exam?
Nebraska was the second state in the Union to license chiropractors. The first state in the Union you would have thought would have been Iowa, but it wasn't. It was Kansas. So Kansas was the first state to license chiropractic. Nebraska was the second state to license chiropractic. And then, up until about 1925, from about 1915, Nebraska had many chiropractors that had licenses. And then the Basic Science Law came in, and the Basic Science Law consisted of 6 subjects: anatomy, physiology, hygiene and sanitation, chemistry, microbiology, which at that time was called bacteriology, and the last one was pathology. And you had to spend several hours in each subject over a period of 2 days, passing a written examination in each of these subjects. The people that made up the examinations mostly were from medical school at University of Nebraska Medical School in Omaha. And in order to be able to get a basic science license, you had to pass all that with the agreement of these medical people in order to practice chiropractic. Well, there was no chiropractic school in 1915, 16, 17, and 18. In 1925, 26, 27, 28, that really prepared anybody for that. But then National College of Chiropractic in Chicago started to prepare people to do that back in just after the war, 1948, 47, 48, 49. A chiropractor from Kansas named Len Schuster came in and cracked the Basic Science Board, a graduate of National College of Chiropractic in 1948. And Len Schuster set the standard for future chiropractors to come in and pass that exam.
Just to interrupt you for a minute, I read a statistic that said that this board was so effective in keeping chiropractors out of Nebraska that from 1929 to 1950 there were no new chiropractic licenses, so for over 20 years.
Yeah, I heard it was 1925 to 1949, or 48, but it was a long, long time, and it was just specifically, that was definitely the truth. It was meant to keep out anybody but the medical practitioner.
You had told me at another time that basically the seniors from medical school took the test, and you took it as a sophomore, is that?
Yeah, National was so adept at training people to pass these basic science laws, and these basic science laws were in Colorado, they were in Arkansas, they were in Minnesota, they were in just a lot of important states. And they were a definite effort by medicine to eliminate or even to at least minimize chiropractic licensure. But anyway, over that period of time, there was just no licensure at all until National set the parameters of attempting to pass these boards.
And so you worked just pretty much nonstop for at least 2 years in order to pass that, is that?
When I went to National, I was so determined to come back and practice with my father that I studied pretty hard for a couple of years. In fact, I sort of disciplined myself to study 6 hours a day on top of school my freshman and sophomore years, and specifically prepared to pass these exams and get that basic science out of the way, and then I could go into my clinical subjects the last 2 years of my chiropractic training.
Well, do you have anything else that you wanted to add? Any words of encouragement for the young doctors just getting out of school, or people that haven't been in chiropractic really long? Any words of wisdom?
Well, chiropractic is such a great field of endeavor in healing. And I always said when I went into chiropractic, if all I would have learned would be to use used chiropractic for the health of my own family, it would have been worth it. And I feel that way still. That and I like to keep up on the latest things going on in chiropractic, and they just seem to fit together with the basic physiology and biochemistry of the body, and it just is amazing to be able to prevent problems rather than to constantly think of cure.
And you've been in practice for 50, how many years?
53, 53, 54. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
55 actually.
Yeah, that's right. 55 years, because National has their 55th class, 1955. So this is 2010. So it'll be 55 years I've been in practice, and I practice 2 days a week with my son, and continue to enjoy helping people, and continue to enjoy thinking about health care, and realizing that prevention is just so important to keep healthy, and chiropractic can be part of that.
Okay, well, I appreciate your insight and for agreeing to do this interview, and I'd like to just focus in. There's my mother, Winnie Callahan, who's supported my dad all these years and played a big role in that part as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dr. John.
You're welcome.